Hi guys, it's Katie. Oh my gosh. I have a candle burning right here that I moved because I thought it was going to be in frame, and I was like, wanted it in frame, but now I'm just afraid that my long ponytail is going to get burned. So maybe let's move that. It is the Bath & Body Works Peppermint Sugar Cookie Candle, and it's delightful. But that's not why we're here today. We are here today wearing a red lip and a French braid and a Mad Woman t-shirt because the savior of 2020, Taylor Allison Swift, is back at it. The hardest working woman in the world, I would say. I can't even speak. She announced today that she is releasing her 9th studio album, the sister album to Folklore, and it's called Evermore. Now, I thought it might be fun to go through the track list and just kind of make some predictions and just chat a little bit about it before we really know, because before we know it, we are going to know these songs inside and out. We're going to know all the lyrics. We are going to have our personal connections and our Taylor connections and all of that jazz. And I just thought it would be fun to discuss before we get there. So again, I'm wearing my Mad Woman t-shirt because I am a mad woman ever since I woke up at like 6 a.m. or I don't even know what time it was and read this. It's been a joke trying to get me to work or do anything other than think about this. So we have our Starbucks. I should be drinking an alcoholic beverage, but it's midday and I'm still working technically. So that's gonna have to wait. Let's get started. Track 1 on this album is called Willow. This is the one that is coming out with a music video tonight as well. And she teased this in one of her, she's been dropping Easter eggs for like the past few weeks. And this was one of them. She mentioned something about a willow tree. And so to me, oh my gosh, I mean, I honestly have no thoughts on this. I guess I can't help but think it's gonna be Cardigan vibes. I don't really know what I mean by that, but just because Cardigan was the first single with the music video, maybe somehow this will also be that. I feel like, oh, it could be a play on words. It could be another fictional story where like a person's name could be Willow and then it's also talking about a willow tree. So I honestly hate to start off with like not very strong, but I just have no idea what to expect from Willow. None. Other than that, it might be a Cardigan-ish sounding song. No idea what the content is going to be. Okay, track 2 is Champagne Problems. This stands out to me as definitely one that I'm extremely excited for a few reasons. I just like that phrase, Champagne Problems. It also seems to stand out like a sore thumb a little bit in terms of this whole folklore, evermore, whimsical realm that we're in with Taylor. Some of the other tracks, they just sound like they fit into that foresty, whimsical vibe, whereas Champagne Problems sounds like it could be like a hip hop song, or you know what I mean? Sorry for the noise. I'm outside. I'm in Arizona, by the way. I don't know if anybody cares or knows, but I'm not in my normal setting. Champagne Problems. Okay, I think it is gonna touch on money and greed during this pandemic, and it might be a little political, and it might be, I don't know, I just like, that's just the vibe I'm feeling. I think that she is going to talk about that because all this music is written like now in isolation, in the pandemic, in quarantine, and I am just dying for it to be some call outs of wealthy people who, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like that's what it's going to be about. Okay. Track 3 is called Gold Rush. Ooh, Gold Rush. I have no clue what that could be about. Okay. So we could be talking about California. We could be talking about, so she usually talks about gold and golden when she affiliates that with like her boyfriend, Joe Alwyn. So I wonder if that one's going to be maybe like a love song and maybe along the veins of Invisible String. Not saying it'll be exactly the same content, obviously, but that's just kind of what my brain is coming up with. Like the golden vibes and the gold rush that he gave her. I don't know. What do you think? Track 4 is one that definitely stands out to me as one of the ones I'm most excited about. It's called 'Tis the Damn Season. Oh my gosh. First of all, is this neighbor really doing that right now? Are they really playing like the radio? Yeah, I'm mad too, Cannoli. Are they like listening to me talk and they have to compete with me, or what's happening? Because I'm not here for this. We are recording a video? Hello? I'm not impressed. Okay, it was a car. It was a car. We're good. Okay, track 4, 'Tis the Damn Season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first, the only Taylor Swift song that has a curse word in the title. I'm stoked. I mean, obviously, Cannoli, damn is not like that crazy of a word. I mean, she even, please hold. Okay. She has even used that word in her debut album, Taylor Swift, but I'm just saying, like, I love that it's in the title. Another aspect that is obvious to me that I love about it is, hello, it is December. It is the damn season. So are we gonna get like a Christmas tie-in, or is that just a play on words and just a coincidence that it's being released around the holiday time, which is of course also around her birthday? I just am so intrigued by that. Like, 'tis the damn season for what? Is it gonna be a positive, like, yay, 'tis the season? Or is it gonna be like, 'tis the damn season for revenge? Or do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just so excited about that one. Okay, next, track 5 is called Tolerate It. Truth be told, this is another one that's in my like top list of ones I'm most excited about. I would be excited about this based on the title alone, but then the fact that it's a track 5, the possibilities are endless. Tolerate it. There's something about that word tolerate that I just feel like, oh my gosh, are we about to have My Tears Ricochet like 2.0? Like, is it gonna top that? I'm almost getting like a My Tears Ricochet Mad Woman fusion, just because I feel like her saying tolerated, I'm detecting and predicting that that's going to be kind of a sarcastic, or that's not even the right word, but you know what I mean? Kind of like, I'll tolerate. I don't know. Or like people tell, I don't know. It just, there's something about that word tolerate it. Or she could just be like, I'm not going to tolerate this. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit more cheeky than that. And I'm so stoked on that one. Track 6 is also one that's in my top, like whatever, except ones that I'm excited about. And it is called No Body, No Crime. Okay, that would be one that I'm super excited about, even before knowing that it is one of the songs that has a feature on this album. And the feature is Haim. Hello. I know that they're friends in real life, which is super cool. They've never collabed before, like in this sense, like had a song together. And Haim rocks. Also, Haim is nominated for Album of the Year with their Women in Music Part 3. Fabulous album. Taylor's obviously nominated for Album of the Year. I just love that we have, you know, those levels of success and songwriting and genius coming together. And now let's get into the content. No Body, No Crime. What does that mean? I feel like that could be getting into corruption or politics. I keep mentioning that. I think it's just because I really am kind of wanting that. We didn't get much of that on Folklore, which is okay, but I'm just saying, you know, we didn't really get into a lot of politics on Folklore. So I wonder if that will have anything to do with that, or if it's going to be maybe a cheeky, like a la Goodbye Earl by the Chicks. You know what I mean? Kind of like, whatever, you did me dirty, but if there's no body, there's no crime. I don't know, but I'm stoked. Track 7 is called Happiness. Again, it's like, that could just be, take it at face value, and it could be her talking about being happy and being in love and something like that. Or it could totally be like the opposite of that, or it could really be anything with such a general title. I also am trying to remind myself or keep in mind that with this whole Folklore era, whatever you want to call it, this whole new alternative chapter she's in, a lot of the songs are not her old textbook, like directly pulled from her life. They're not all that self-narrative. They are exploring all kinds of things and different perspectives and fictional characters and things like that. So who knows? It could also be about anybody, not just her, like pursuing happiness, like when am I going to be happy type thing. I don't know. Track 8 is Dorothea. So back to what I just said about characters and stuff like that. Obviously, we know that in folklore, she had the love triangle with the 3 fictional characters. We also know that she had Epiphany, which paid a little bit of homage to her grandfather, as well as just like everyone who's ever been in war and all of the frontline workers for the pandemic, for COVID and all that. Dorothea. Now, I've seen a little bit about this and the other track that has a name, Marjorie, I'll just say it, it's later down, floating around. I'm pretty sure they said that one of them is her grandma's name. I think it's Marjorie. But then I also read this crazy thing where it was saying that Dorothea and Marjorie are the names of people who, I think it was Marjorie, was a little girl who mysteriously went missing when she was 5, and Dorothea was the mom. So all I know is that that is going to be an insane level of storytelling. I do think that Dorothea and Marjorie, assuming if it's not the grandmother route and if it's these other people, like how she wrote about Rebecca Harkness, I'm wondering if she is going to, like, I think it's just going to be pure storytelling, like pure third person. Although, come to think of it, in The Last Great American Dynasty, she does pull it back to herself. I don't even want to touch the subject of precious, beautiful angel Andrea Swift, Taylor's mom, and Taylor somehow doing like this mom-daughter thing. I don't know. I'm thinking of everything. I'm just spewing out ideas. So, okay. I know that I'm excited about it because her storytelling is so insane. It's so amazing. So I don't know what to expect, but I know it'll be good. Track 9 is called Coney Island, and that one is featuring the National, which I believe is Aaron Dressner. Why can I not say his name? It's his band. And he was like the main collaborator on folklore and this as well. So that's cool that they actually are getting a feature on this. Coney Island, I mean, hello, that's in New York, and I love New York so much. Taylor loves New York. So it could just be telling a tale about like some, you know, somewhere on Coney Island. I think that sonically it is going to sound, I mean, I'm not that familiar with like the Nationals catalog, but again, he wrote and helped write a lot of the songs on folklore. I was told that Cardigan was basically very similar to what their catalog sounds like. So I'm thinking it'll sound similar, but I don't know what to expect. Track 10 is Ivy. That gives me similar feels as track 1, Willow, just because it is like a plant, you know what I mean? But again, Ivy, like Willow, could be a name. So it's like a tree or like a plant, but it also could be a name. I think it's safe to assume, or at least assume, keep this as a possibility that we might get another like love triangle type thing. I mean, we know that Taylor is loca, but we all are also loco if we are Taylor fans, and we love her for it. So I would not be surprised at all if there's another thing like that where the 3 tracks add to 13 minutes and all that, like she did on folklore. We'll see. Number 11, Cowboy Like Me. That is the other one that I am really excited for. I just think that title is so intriguing, different, bizarre, all of the above. To me, there's something about that name, Cowboy Like Me, that tells me this is going to be like the man, or at least not sonically, but like subject matter. And then my friend Danny was saying how he is kind of getting Betty vibes. So I do feel as though it might be like the man Betty meet. I think it might have some of that country flair that Betty had, but I do think like how else could we interpret that? Cowboy Like Me. I don't know. That's just what I get. What do you think about that one? Track 12 is called Long Story Short, which this got like an honorable mention in the ones I'm excited for, mostly because I talk a lot and I very often say long story short, but it's like, girl, I ain't telling no short stories. I, in fact, try to say long story long because that's the name of my game. So long story short, I just like that phrase. I also think Taylor, again, is such a great storyteller that whether this track is from the third person fictional character aspect or whether it comes directly from her life. I just think it's going to be brilliant. I just think it's going to be clever and catchy. Maybe not catchy, I don't know, maybe, but I just feel like it's telling me through that title that it's going to be clever. Track 13 is Marjorie, so that goes back to that debate of, is Marjorie her grandmother? Is Marjorie this child who went missing in the 40s? Interesting tie-in that Epiphany was track 13 on Folklore, so Marjorie could be about her grandma because, again, Epiphany kind of mentioned non-directly, but it did talk about her grandfather. And then throwing it back even further to Lover, I'm pretty sure, I should probably Google check this, but I don't know if I'm in the mood to do that. I'm pretty sure that Soon You'll Get Better was track 13 on Lover. No, it wasn't. False God was track 13 on Lover. Wait a second. Wasn't Epiphany track 12? I think it was. Oh, come on. I guess now I do need to check. Folklore track list. What was track 13? Epiphany. Okay, so Epiphany was track 13. But Soon You'll Get Better. Let's see. Lover track list. I thought it was False God. Yeah, it was. Okay, so never mind. I was going to say Soon You'll Get Better talks about her mom. Epiphany talks about her grandpa. Maybe Marjorie will talk about her grandma, but I don't think so. Possibly, but I don't think so. Okay, either way, I'm excited. It's going to be a storytelling session, and I'm ready to hear the story. Track 14, oh my gosh, it's called Closure. Like, I hope, okay. I really hope that that is one that's more personal about like her and her looking back and her talking about closure, because listen, I'm a person who does not do well without closure, but as is life, I have definitely had many a time where I don't have closure. I'm sure that's actually just how life goes, and you could all say the same. And so if this track is going to help me get some closure simply by listening to what Taylor tells me to do, then God bless. So that's what I'm hoping for. Assuming that it's something like that where it's about her personal life, I feel like then she's going to be going back a la Holy Ground, a la The One. I mean, those two songs are similar subject matter to me. I don't necessarily mean that. I just mean, you know how in Holy Ground, she is looking back and saying like, you know what? That was holy ground. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want this to be something where she's looking back and saying like, okay, now I have my closure or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm hoping for. And then track 15, which is the final track on the, I don't know, regular version, is that how you say it, is Evermore, which is the title track. And this one is featuring Bon Iver. Now, simply because it's the title track and because the word evermore is just a great word, and because hello, Bon Iver, hello, exile. Oh, that's kind of fun that they both, exile and evermore, both start with E's. Once you're a Taylor fan, you pick up on every like possible similarity or calculation. But just because her song with him, like with Exile, was so incredible, I'm really excited for that one. His voice is incredible. He sings so low, but Taylor also actually has a really, really low register that she can get to. So I'm expecting some more like beautiful harmonies. Evermore, something about that seems like a much more positive word than exile. And so hopefully maybe it'll be a more positive song. I don't know why I say hopefully, because truth be told, I like the depressing ones, but I think it'll be great. Okay, and then here's what I don't know. Are we going to get both of the bonus tracks tonight, or is she gonna give us something like a carrot? Is she gonna dangle the carrot in front of us like she did with the lakes and make us wait? I would be okay with that, simply because, I mean, I'll be so happy if in like 2 weeks or whatever it may be, we still have a couple more Taylor songs to listen to. You know what I mean? Rather than just bursting through all the gifts tonight and then being like, oh, I want more new stuff. Anyway, The 2 bonus tracks, the first one is called Right Where You Left Me. Ooh, that stings. Just that title stings, Right Where You Left Me. Okay, I'm really hoping that that is going to be like a, I'm hurt. That was so dramatic. But I feel like a lot of her songs, honestly, ever since, I don't know, maybe ever since 1989, like Reputation, for example, which was after 1989, it had so many, like she's been in a happy relationship with Joe and she's gone back and like, you know, she's done the death by 1,000 cuts thing where she is still able to tap into that breakup side and like that sad side. But for those of us who still want to hear songs where we're like, like mad and sad and we want to be dramatic because we're not like in happy relationships. And I don't mean that to sound bitter. I just mean like, come on, we want to hear those. We want to hear those songs. Like for those reasons, I'm hoping that this one is that it is a, like a scornful, Right Where You Left Me song. Okay, the last bonus track is called It's Time to Go, and I have to tell you something. That track really makes me nervous because what are you telling us, Taylor? Is it time to go? Like, are you going to the lakes? Are you leaving us now? Like, what does it mean? And then again, dissecting and making comparisons and cross-referencing similarities. The Lakes was the final track on Folklore, like the bonus track, where she's telling us how like, I'm gonna go to the lakes. And then this is the final track on this. And maybe she's like, okay, yeah, now bye, it's time to go. So that makes me nervous, but I want Taylor to do whatever's gonna make her happy. I want her to go there with her muse, have babies, all that jazz. As long as she continues to feed us with music and other types of content. I really am holding out for Taylor to be an author, write some novels. I talked about this like in my Vlogmas video. And I've actually talked about that before. And I think she will. I don't think that she would just up and leave us forever. Like she knows that we all like literally are so dependent on her at this point because she is just like everybody's angel, you know? So if she's telling us that it's time to go and she's leaving and like this is her last album ever, I'm gonna have a meltdown. If she's telling us it's time to go and she's going to the lakes, but she's not leaving us forever, I will be happy for her. I don't know. But that is where I leave you. It is time for me to go. Ha 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 ha. Okay, not funny. Thank you for listening to my rambling, my theories, my excitement. I'm sorry that I was like conducting an orchestra the whole time. Truth be told, you were propped up on this table in front of me. And so I don't want to like put my hands on the table and stuff because then it'll shake you. And I just talk with my hands a lot in general. So please let me know your thoughts down below. Please tell me if you agree with me, if you have a different interpretation. Please tell me which ones you are excited for. And you know what, guys? I am stoked that we have 3 features on this one. I think that's cool. So just thought I'd throw that in there at the end. 3 collabs, 3 features. Those are always fun. So love you the most. And I'll see you on my Vlogmas. And I'll see you in the reaction video. Oh my gosh. 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 Okay, I have to go because I am losing my mind. I have been all day long.